Good evening, viewers and listeners. Welcome to another edition of the program Serving the People for Wednesday, 23rd February 2011. I am your host, Senator Anissa Batiste, and I'm a senator with the opposition New Democratic Party in the House of Parliament. I'd like to begin with a word of prayer. Loving Father in heaven, please help me to speak the truth to the people and nothing but the truth. So help me God, in Jesus' name, amen. And now, my dear people, let me remind you of how you may contact me at Serving the People. You may write to servingthepeople.ab@gmail.com, or you may call telephone number 1784-528-1015. The information is at the bottom of your screen for your assistance. Before we go into this evening's program, I wish to make two announcements. First of all, let me remind you that the Young Democrats of the New Democratic Party, that's the youth arm of the New Democratic Party, will be hosting its first national public speaking competition. And any person who is interested in participating, you may do so by contacting your president, that is the president of the Young Democrats group in your particular constituency, or you may contact Mr. Nick Francis, who is the General President of the Young Democrats of the New Democratic Party. Also, the New Democratic Party would be leading a sensitization and awareness meeting in the area of Layu on Thursday, February 24th, 2011. We'll be in Layu Thursday 24th, and it will be a sensitization meeting on the bills that have been brought by the Unity Labour Party administration to Parliament and why we say you should protest against them. So join us in Layu on Thursday 24th for that very educational meeting so you may learn about these bills. We look forward to seeing you there. And now, as I enter this topic this evening, I wish to first of all address some concerns that I know some citizens have with respect to certain things they have heard recently said against me, against my person. Recently, a call was made on the New Times program hosted by E.G. Lynch by a concerned citizen expressing concerns that my life, my family's life might be in danger because of the things that are being said on radio, on Star FM, for example, and other Unity Labour Party programs on radio. Persons saying things like I'm a dangerous person and I need to be stopped and so on. And I just want to say something brief on it, especially for the sake of those who are concerned and for whose concern I am ever grateful. First of all, let me just say that try not to worry too much about it. I am doing fine by the grace of God. I realize a lot of these things are just propaganda attacks with some attempts to taint my reputation, but I'm not at all worried because I know that I'm speaking the truth, and I know that no man dare touch me since God is in control and He's the one who's protecting me. I also wish to say that if there's anything that you could consider dangerous about Anissa Batiste, it is simply that I am dangerous to the ULP's folly, and I'm dangerous to the ULP's communism, dangerous to their attempt to Chavezize our country, to bring it like how President Hugo Chavez has Venezuela. And that is why they are afraid, and that is why they are saying many of the mean things that they say. God is my protector. I believe in freedom. I believe in the rights and freedoms of the people, and I believe that persons' rights and freedoms ought to be respected and they should not be harmed because of their political position, because we all have our rights and freedoms to hold the views that we hold and to express them without fear of being harmed. So this is not the attitude that people should have, and this is certainly not the attitude that is advocated and encouraged by me nor by the New Democratic Party. I also wish to say that I am personally pained and concerned when I see the people losing their rights and freedoms. So when I speak with passion and anger, righteous indignation against the wickedness taking place, it is because of the pain I experience in my own mind when I consider that a government could seek to take away the rights and freedoms of the people for their own selfish reasons. Finally, on that, I wish to tell you all that I know, listen to me carefully, I know that there are plans to kill me. And I know who the people are on the other side, in the other party. It is because they are being exposed, their deceptions and their evils are being unraveled. People are beginning to see them and they don't like it. But I know what is going on. God always makes his people understand and become aware of the plans and the tricks of their enemies. But I am not afraid, and neither should you be afraid, my dear people. Having said that, let us go into our program. Now, in this evening's program, I want to continue to review some of the issues coming out of the Budget Debate 2011, but I want to look with special reference to the whole issue of the Speakership of the House. I want to make some reference to documentation that I found on the UK United Kingdom's Parliament website, and they have some very interesting information showing you the history of the Speakership of the House, what is the role of the Speaker, and so on. I want to review some of the issues that came out in the Budget Debate 2011 and point out certain things that we observe with respect to the role and function of the Speaker. In so doing, I want to draw your attention, first of all, to this first clip. Take a look.
I'm saying to you that this government has failed those young people. And when they go back on the blocks, and when they start performing those antisocial behavior, they have some people who are quick to call them all sorts of names. And when they go into the hills and they start doing their form of agriculture, we have Vincipac. And we have people with an agenda to pursue them until they no longer exist. That is the product of this ULP government. Mr. Speaker, what we are actually proposing here is that rather...
Honorable, will my honorable friend give way, or... Mr. Speaker, I know it's a little late, but we had been fortified with some refreshments, and I saw my friend eating fairly amply, as all of us did. But I really don't think that he would like to say that what you have to go in the hills and then you have Vincipac, and what some people want is to pursue them until they no longer exist. Meaning that to kill them. No. But I have never said that. But this is what he's saying here, Mr. Speaker. This is not a joke. When someone says, Mr. Speaker, Vincipac, and we can get the record, we can get what is said if you don't recall it, Mr. Speaker. He said that what you have is that they pursue them until these young people no longer exist. That's the height of irresponsibility, because nobody is engaged in such an activity. And my honorable friend knows that. You may say that on the street somewhere else, but you can't come to the parliament of this country and say that, Mr. Speaker, unless you have the evidence for it. It's a dastardly incorrect statement.
I remember, I
Draw it.
I do agree that the statement is irresponsible, and no words can you can escape from that kind of statement. And I'm being serious. The honourable member for Central Kingston knows that the final, well, you're bawling Jesus. You're praying to Jesus. Honourable Senator knows, honourable member for Central Kingston knows that the end result is death in relation to these persons if they are being pursued until they no longer exist. I mean, what do you mean by that? Maybe you have a good explanation for that. Could you explain to me what that means? If not, I'll kindly withdraw the statement, because I mean the ultimate situation is death. It couldn't be anything else. So kindly. Well, they said no longer exist, but even they leave the country, come out there, they still exist, don't they? Come on, come on. Kindly withdraw the statement.
Mr.
Let's
Speaker,
move on.
Mr. Speaker, I'm really amazed.
Yeah, no, we can't.
That the responsible elements on the other side, including the deputy leader, is condoning this kind of a statement. This is the kind of recklessness that encourages persons outside not to want to address issues of national security and law and order seriously.
Thank you. Yeah, I think you should withdraw that statement and let's move on.
Yes, my dear people, you saw there that the Honorable Nigel Nature Stevenson, he made his statement. Notice he didn't give any name. He didn't say who said the statement, but he said that persons would say things like that. And then you saw the Honorable Prime Minister's reaction. And in fact, he even attempted to elucidate the point by saying that when you say you pursue them until they no longer exist, it means to kill them. And you also saw for sure the Honorable Speaker's reaction. We see ultimately Mr. Stevenson was asked to withdraw his statement, even though no proof was requested or anything like that. Now look at this other clip, and let's see what's happening here. Take a look.
Now, before I became Prime Minister, I was a lawyer. I defended many of these vagabonds. Because in this, our system of adversarial jurisprudence, a person is entitled to a lawyer of his choice. However, as Prime Minister and Minister of National Security, I have taken a solemn oath. And now, I am the lawyer. I am in the adversarial business against the criminals. But on behalf of the people who elected me, I am the one who will pursue those vagabonds until they do not exist anymore.
Yes, my dear people, what we've just seen there and heard is a clip taken from an API program in 2009. This program was reporting on a meeting that was held at the end of the VINCIPAC operation on May 29th, 2009, and the Honorable Prime Minister was addressing the public. And you observe that he used words that are similar to the words that were used by Honorable Nigel Stevenson in the House of Assembly during the budget debate 2011, estimates and budget debate. Now the question we have to ask ourselves is that the evidence, the words of the Prime Minister? Because we heard the Speaker asking for evidence. What is, the Prime Minister himself, not the Speaker, had said you can't come to Parliament and make statements like that unless you have evidence. Well, is that last clip the evidence? And what is really irresponsible? Honorable Stevenson's statement in Parliament, although he cited no name, he gave no name for the statement, or the Prime Minister's statement in VINCIPAC when he said that he will pursue those vagabonds until they do not exist anymore. That is for us to consider. But observe that Mr. Stevenson was made to withdraw his statement by the Speaker, and I personally recall that the following day, when the Honorable St. Clair Leacock attempted to give the evidence, give the proof, to read the actual statement by the Prime Minister to validate the fact that those words were said, the Speaker, the Honorable Speaker, refused him that opportunity. But you've just seen the facts right here on Serving the People on television. And I know you have good judgment, my dear people. Now, I want to also show you another clip because we're looking at the issue of the Speakership of the House and the role and function. And I want to make reference to the most recent Speaker elected in the UK's Parliament, one Bercow. I'm not sure I'm pronouncing his name correctly, but it's B-E-R-C-O-W. And he was elected in 2009. And when he was elected, here's what he had to say in this clip. Take note because